We're gonna move on to my favorite story of the episode. This is like, okay, so Daily Beast, one of my favorite websites out there. I think they do fantastic journalism. But they came out with an article from Laura Greenfield. So anyway, it's called "The Dangerous Kardashian Effect and the Profound Impact of the Superficial." And in a nutshell, okay, so it's Laura Greenfield who produced this documentary called Generation Wealth. It's in theaters now, right? By the way, I can't wait. I'm going to go see it tonight, actually. Documents our cultural obsession with wealth. And then so she wrote a piece about it in the Daily Beast. And she's basically saying, like, to give you, keeping up with the Joneses has become keeping up with the Kardashians, and the American dream has morphed from an attainable goal, the result of hard work, to a fantasy way of life characterized by self-indulgent celebrity narcissism. She's really taking on this current wealth-obsessed culture, and I know how I feel about it. I want to first ask you two girls how you feel about it. Like, do you think the Kardashians and what they stand for and sort of what you feel is the attraction to them as a fan is ruining in some way, shape, or form the American dream?
Ooh, that is a tough question. Here's the thing. Here's how I feel about it. I'm not a huge fan of them.
Yeah.
I don't dislike them.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing their thing. They're living their life. When it comes to the fame, I do see the younger generation really looking up to them and thinking maybe what they do is the way to get fame. And what they don't understand is that that's an anomaly, what happened to them. It does not happen.
Nope.
It's like winning the lottery. You know?
No, it's true. And by the way, Paris Hilton is proof of that because Kim followed the Paris Hilton sex tape model.
Exactly.
But then Kim had smart marketing. Paris Hilton, God bless her, she has a successful DJ career.
Right.
But
very
DJ career.
Very quote-unquote.
But Paris Hilton is not like a current pop culture.
Right.
She's a sort of she's got exactly. So go ahead, continue.
So yeah, I mean, Kim luckily had her mom, you know, who's just an amazing manager and was able to turn something that could have ruined her daughter.
Momager.
Exactly.
We call them momager.
Exactly. So she turned that into this huge empire that now everyone in the family can profit from.
Yes.
And now they're in the beauty space. They're making their own clothes, their apps and all of that. So I guess there is a business model to follow if young people want to.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think you should always aspire and never put up any roadblocks, even if you are already rich.
Yeah.
And that is something that's commendable. But as far as just being famous for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing, okay, so are you a fan? And you can be.
So, yeah, I was going to say, I am a fan of them for sure.
Okay.
And I don't think I understand what you're saying, and I totally agree with everything but it being because of the Kardashians.
Yes.
I think it's society as a whole.
As a whole.
And it's just what we're evolving into because kids nowadays are just so entitled, narcissistic, just so...
Not you, McKenzie, though.
No, God,
she's got good ethic.
She does.
She's a good kid.
Oh, I had a good momager, too.
I like
There you go.
But no, I think it's really just, like I said, society as a whole, everybody is just evolving into this, people owe me, everybody owes me, I need to have this. And I think another thing to go with that is happiness isn't attainable anymore to what as happiness should be. So if you make a bunch of money and I don't have 17 yachts and 3 houses in each country, you know what I mean? Then you're not happy.
Yeah.
I think social media plays a huge part in that, too.
Huge. Well, I mean, we were having this discussion because now, as of late, I've been seeing these, and I don't know if it's a trend yet, but I saw like 2 prominent journalists in my Facebook feed that were saying how they had done like a social media diet like these last couple weeks, whether it be a month, and that now they've like deleted apps from their phone. So they only like will be on social media like during their like actual working time on their desktop computers, and that it's been like night and day because there's this certain level of you put a post up and like likes, or comments, and if you're not getting as many as you wanted to get, it's like a mind, it's a mind F for lack of a better word, and that people are basing their instant gratification on that. And speaking of Demi Lovato addicts, like I think that social media obviously is also an addiction for some. Like they just can't put it down. When I was working like running a daily news site, it was part of my job to have to be on top of it.
Exactly.
I live a happier life right now where I'm doing a weekly show and just like working on launching a startup. But that's The Populist, which, hey, shameless self plug alert here. The Populist, which is the half owner of this show. The Populist is such a different play in the market that it's not. Even then, it's going to be like impact journalism and a different, that it's not like I'm saying, like, I've had a taste now of that balance of like social media and constant news versus like and enjoying life, going out to yoga, going out to take a hike, and I would not want to go back. I'm being honest. Like, I'm all of a sudden like this zen has taken over you. So circling back to this part though. Do you think, I agree with you. I don't think it's just the Kardashians, but I think because they so heavily dominate the media landscape and they have a weekly TV show that secures their place in pop culture, and they're multiplying like gremlins. So basically they're securing themselves with every other generation of Kanye's kids. I mean, whether Kim and Kanye last, she's got royalty, R&B music royalty children. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so, to me, it's that they have such large megaphone platforms, and you see it. And I've always said this, like when I was covering entertainment news and we were doing this, I only wanted to cover the Kardashians like for legitimate news reasons. Like, to me, it's like, I don't care that like Kylie injected her behind, or I don't care that this one she took out her lips. Right. That's not news in my eyes. Like, news is like, she was on the top of the Forbes list and here's how she got there. That's news to me. Like, it's just, and again, it's opinions, because I know I'm not a girl. I don't have to dress up with makeup. I think that I respect their marketing ability and their business savvy in what they do, whether that be the lifestyle brand, like, because they came out, I think they led the way with the apps, you know, like having your, so like Taylor Swift also being one of those innovators. Like, Taylor Swift has basically put all her content, you know, in a place where her fans can get to it if they pay for it. Right. Super smart. Right. But I think that what I worry about is if I have a niece and a nephew, and to me, I think that if you can make it the way they made it, great. But I think still go through the traditional values of like, I went to school, I finished my degree, I went and got some college or a trade, but learn skills. You know what I'm saying? Because you can always then become this YouTube star from your bedroom, giving makeup tips, making millions of dollars. But why not still? That's where I think I'm traditional in it. Right. And I want to see this documentary really bad.
Me too.
And Laura Greenfield, I actually would love to speak to, because I just think everything that I was reading in this, I was like, oh my God, this is all of the beef I have right now. But when you look at the numbers too, with like the whole beauty business right now,
it's huge.
Huge. And now you see all these other, do you watch Vanderpump Rules, either one of you?
I do not.
So Lala Kent, who's like a big, like one of the most popular ones in there, she just launched like Give 'em Lala or something. Like this basically replicate this whole Kylie Jenner model. Like they have these followings of like whatever, even like the smaller follow, 100,000 followers on Instagram, they can parlay that into a business.
Completely.
If 100,000 of them spend $20 on a piece of makeup, hello, we do the math.
Yeah. I mean, like, it circles back to social media, like you were saying. I think a lot of people want to get those followers so that they can attain this type of dream.
Oh, exactly.
Too, you know, it's like it's a never-ending circle and pattern.
You know, what other thing that aggravates me is when you have all these. You can pay for followers. Apparently, I've heard.
Yes.
And the thing is, you pay for all the followers, and then you go and unfollow so many people. For me, I have like this pretty much the same amount of followers and following, because I like to know what's going on in people's lives. That's why I'm on social media.
That's why I'm on social media. Well, the interesting thing is too, I just see so many of these like I'm working on like a long form investigative piece on this whole like underbelly of InstaFame, which is going to be like one of the first stories on my site. It's a subculture unto itself, because these people that were like shadowing some of them, they live in this world of like, oh, and I gotta go hang out with that dude because he's got like $1.5 million. Like it's like different. It's like their kind of money, which I always say, you know, being like famous on Instagram is like being rich in Monopoly. I mean, in the grand scheme. I give them props that you can get money for brand stuff, and that's where I think it's smart. It's brand marketing. But I think they let that allow them, like, their equivalence in the world, or their self-worth is somehow measured to that. And it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with your character. It doesn't have anything to do in the grand scheme of, like, what you're contributing to the world.
No, and it'll come up in conversations like, oh, did you see how many followers I have?
It's like, I really don't care.
That's so bizarre.
Like, I have a 13
You're in real life.
I have a 13
So true.
Oh my god.
I have a 13-year-old cousin, and he messages me the other day, and it's like, yeah, I have 3,000 followers. I'm like, okay.
How old? Wait, how?
He's 13.
Oh god.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Poor thing. Well, yeah, my sister-in-law was actually really wouldn't let my nephew and niece get onto, like, he's I think 11 now, and he was like just allowed to start using, and it's very heavily restricted in the way.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, in short, you agree that we're in the youth is looking at the wrong things.
Yes.
But you don't attribute that all fault to the Kardashians.
No.
And you?
I don't attribute it all to the Kardashians. I think it's a mixture of a whole bunch of things. It's like the perfect storm. The time, everything.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'm going to respect...
And they're kind of at the top of the
food chain.
totem.
I'm going to respectfully disagree and say that I'm going to borrow from Chelsea Handler when she was on her show, basically said that the Kardashians wrought us Trump, meaning like that they are they are setting the trend for a lot that's wrong and why kids are the way. I don't know. I'm sure I bet you if I got in a room with them, I think they were the coolest girls to vibe with and hang out with. But I wish I would hear them doing a PSA about like go to school, finish, like do some more like
world hunger,
something. I mean, Kim did the thing anyway.
Right.
Moving on. So really quickly then, before we wrap up, thank you so much for doing this. This was one of my this was like great. It's like just sitting chatting with two smart ladies. Can you tell the viewers where to find Meet the Hollywood Press, either one of you?
Absolutely. I can tell them. Okay. You guys can find us on YouTube at AfterBuzzTV and at AfterBuzzTV. Go ahead and like, comment, rate, subscribe. You can find us on iTunes. Also,